Well, family, this has been another divine intervention. Hey, family, it is your girl, Michelle. Michelle Allen Franklin, honey, Miss Michelle D.I. Zooming into the studio on the first Monday of February. Honey, I don't know about you, but it's Black History Month, baby. It is Black History Month. Yes, the first Monday in February. How you feeling, family? How are you feeling today? It is beautiful here in Tyler, Texas, baby. Let me tell you something. You know your girl is from Baltimore, Maryland, and when it's cold in Texas, I just get irritated. I just feel like it shouldn't be cold in Texas. I don't know what it is. Is it just me? It's something about the cold weather. Baby, I'm so happy. It's nice outside. I don't know what to do. I didn't have to wear my jacket today. Yes, honey. Yes. Listen, I'm happy. I am happy, honey. And guess what? Today's show is about emotions. Yes, you know how your girl do. We are having the necessary, uncomfortable sometimes, but necessary conversations that we need to have with who? With yourself, boo. With yourself for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. Y'all know how I do. So, yes, that's what we're doing today. This is your girl's fourth show, y'all. I've been here for a month. Can you believe it? God is good. We're talking about emotions today. We've covered the mind. First and second week, we did the mind and did a depression anxiety screen. The second week, we covered your body, talked about some numbers that you need to know in your body. And today, week 4, we are talking about your emotions, honey. And why is it important for us to have a conversation about our emotions? Because our emotions lead to happiness or it leads to stress, to chronic stress. And chronic stress is the number one killer, y'all. Yes, chronic stress. I said it. Did you hear me? You need me to say it again? Yes, chronic stress is the number one killer, the number one, silent killer. It used to be high blood pressure. You know, your girl's a nurse. I've been a nurse for 25 years now. It used to be high blood pressure, and now it is chronic stress. So we have to get a hold of our emotions because how you're feeling on the inside makes a difference, and how you're carrying things makes a difference. And so let's just rewind real quick and let's go back and let's talk about emotions. And I'm going to tell you what the emotions are. Emotions are a complex physiological and psychological responses to internal, that means what's happening on the inside, or external, meaning somebody done did something on the outside, external events, right? It's a combination of your feelings, your thoughts, your physical reactions, and your behaviors, and it helps us to respond in situations in a meaningful way. So your emotions are essential. They're essential. We need our emotions. Our emotions are essential for survival because they guide our decisions, our influence, our actions, and they help us to communicate with others, right? So, what are some types of emotions that we have? Some types of emotions that we have are what? Happiness, sadness, fear, anger, surprise, disgust. Right? Those are some emotions that we have, which are what? All very appropriate. What is the purpose of our emotions? We have 4 things listed here as the purpose of our emotions. One is survival, fear. Like fear. Fear is not always a bad thing, right? If you've been following me, you know that I have a YouTube channel, Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free, Reflections CMGF at YouTube. That's a shameless plug. Follow your girl over there. But you know that I've done videos and I talk about fear and how it may have a negative impact over you, different types of fear. So go over there and watch that video if you don't know what I'm talking about. But fear helps you to avoid danger. Anger can also be a good thing, right? We've covered anger. It's under the demonic entity series where you can identify where it is some anger that's inside of you that might not be on the good side. But this anger that we're talking about, positive anger, can help you confront threats, right? Another thing that purpose of emotion is it helps your decision making. Your emotions influence your choices, even when you think that you're being logical. Even when you think that you're being logical. So, what does that mean? If something happened to me when I was a young girl, and say I had a cat, which I did have a cat when I was younger, and ended up we had two cats, y'all. I'm gonna tell this story real quick. We had two cats. My cat was Janet, named after Janet Jackson, because she was my favorite at that time. Um, and my brother's cat, Morris, was, named after Morris the cat. If y'all remember the Nine Lives, little gray cat, Morris. And so my cat, Janet, she always was getting into trouble. My stepfather had plants, lined up behind in the dining area, and he had plants along the wall. And Janet would always get into there. She was curious like me. That's all it was. She was always getting into the plants. And so Janet got kicked out of the house, y'all, because she just, it was over and over again. And so Janet finally got kicked out the house. Now, that for me caused something in me that when I see cats, I would see cats stray out on the street. Me and my mom was walking into Kmart one time, and I had to be about 14 years old, and I maybe was about 11 or 12 when Janet got kicked out. And so I was about 14 years old, and I'm walking into Kmart, and there was a cat outside. And I was begging my mom because all I could think of was little Janet being outside, and there was nothing that I could do for her. And so every little stray cat that I see, I'm thinking of Janet. So here I am at 14 years old, begging my mom, Mom, please, we gotta feed her. Somebody gotta feed her. She out here by herself. And yes, I did. My mom, she was so sweet. But she bought that cat food in the Kmart for my mama saying, I ain't got no money for this cat girl. My mama, please. And my mama brought the cat. I remember buying some cat food and putting outside for that little cat outside the Kmart in Baltimore. I sure did. But that wasn't an emotional response, right? That was an emotional response for me. And so what was I saying? Your emotions make a difference in how you respond to things, right? Your responses to things. And so, what are some other things? Let me see. I'm gonna turn my page too fast, y'all. I lost my spot. Hang on one second. Let me see. Wait a minute. What was I at? Emotions. Oh, psychological response. So, okay. So then emotions can also cause psychological responses, right? Emotional triggers. They can change your body language. They change how you view. Your heart may be racing, right? Your cheeks may be flushed. Say you're embarrassed about something. So this is a nervous system issue. It can cause you to have a behavioral response where your emotions lead you to smiling. They may lead you to being happy. They may lead you to crying. They may lead you to being sad. They may make you ball your fist up when you're angry, right? And so your emotions play a really expansive role in our lives. And one of the things that I like to talk about is the things on the inside that we can't see. And your emotions are one of those things. And so when you don't have control of your emotions, this is how chronic stress can develop. And so, stress is not considered an emotion, but it is considered a response to your emotions that you just haven't dealt with. And a lot of times we go through life, and I talk about this a lot because it's just what happens as adults. And I don't really feel like we realize that we're doing this, but we're just going and being and doing is what I call it. You're going to work, you're on autopilot, you're taking care of the kids, you're doing all the things. Life is happening to you. You're not responding to it. You are just going on. You're trying to survive, right? And so you're not even allowing sometimes for these emotions to happen. Somebody pass away, do you cry? Oh no, we got to be strong. Is that what we say? As if somebody passing away isn't a traumatic event sometimes for us, right? But for whatever reason, somewhere down the line, I don't even know where this came from, but we have to be quote unquote strong, and it makes you weak to show your emotions. And so what do? You bottle them up and you're holding them in. And that is killing us slowly. And so the purpose of emotions is to get them out, to feel them, to experience them, right? In their wholeness, in their fullness, no matter what you're feeling, but to get it out. Communicating, communicating our emotions. How many times have you tried to hold something in? You upset about something, but it is written all over your face. Did you say something about it? No, you might not have said anything, but are you one of those people when you looking, I can look at you as yeah, that hit her different. Maybe your tone of voice might change, maybe your body language, right? But it's emotions without words because you're holding it in. And what does that do? Something has affected you, but you haven't communicated it. You're holding it in. That's not good, boo. It's not good for you. The last thing in the purpose of emotions is social connections. Emotions can help you build empathy and relationships with others, right? You connect on your emotions. You feel sad about that? Yeah, I feel sad about that. You know, this happened to me at the job. You know what? That happened to me too. Girl, I know exactly what you're talking about. Man, I understand what you're going through. I went through the exact same thing, right? It causes you to have connection with people when you express yourself and express your emotions. And so, again, when you're holding that in, it is causing chronic stress. Now, stress, one of the things with stress is we know a lot about managing stress, right? We hear about managing stress. Girl, have a you day, right? Go get your nails done, go get your hair done. Oh, the men, go play golf, go, go out with the fellas, go have a day, do that. Do that is managing stress, right? Managing stress is coping with stress in a healthy way when you can't avoid it. What we want to do is we want to start stopping stress, right? We want to start stopping the stress. Stopping stress is removing or minimizing the root cause of the stress whenever possible. Now, can you remove all the stress from your life? No, you can't. If you work at a crazy place, it just is what it is. But you can find some ways to manage your stress, right? When I was working, I won't say where, but I'll say at a previous job, previous employer, I was very stressed. Some coworkers weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. And, I felt like it was a lot of stress on me and a lot of weight and things that I was carrying. But the only thing that I can do at that period of time, I couldn't change that coworker's behavior, right? But what I could do is I could change the way that I was looking at it, because before I was dreading going into work. Oh, I have to deal with this again. Oh, that and that. And it was causing me a lot of stress. It was causing me a lot of anxiety. It was causing me to have panic attacks before I would go to work, right? Because for me, it just felt like it wasn't like I was in a place where the leadership was going to do anything about it. And so it was just very stressful, and you need your job, you need your benefits, you have kids to raise, you can't just quit, right? And so I was feeling very overwhelmed. But one thing that I started doing is I shifted my mindset about my day and how I was looking at it. And so I got very intentional about focusing on what I could be grateful for in that job. Instead of focusing on the negative things, I started focusing on the positive, right? And so, Lord, I'm grateful. I'm able to come in here and take care of my patients today. I'm able to help somebody. I've, saved many lives on the phone. And so I was able to focus on the positive instead of the negative. So that's what I say to you. You want to manage your stress in times of difficulty, but if you can stop the stress, right? That is what we want to do. And so um these are some ways. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 ways that you can stop stress, and this will help you to balance out your emotions. Number one, setting boundaries. Ooh, what? Setting boundaries. Honey, I didn't even know what boundaries was before a few years ago. Setting boundaries. Okay, that means saying no. Saying no to communicate that overload of your schedule. One of the things, because if you have a people pleasing spirit, I have a people pleasing spirit. It's a lot of people pleasers out there, right? If you have a people pleasing spirit, if you always are wanting to help someone, you're a helper bee. That's what most of my listeners and people are helper bees. We're out there helping. We want to help. So we don't really know how to say no. We don't know when enough is enough. We are extending ourselves to the 10th power, right? But sometimes you have to learn to say no. No, I can't do that. No, I can't. You can't go to everything. You can't save everyone. Sometimes we pick up things that are not ours to pick up, right? And so this is really, really huge. Sometimes it is okay to say no. So I want you to practice. Number one, I want you to practice setting boundaries for yourself. Number two is problem solving. Identifying a specific issue that's causing you stress and develop an action plan to address them. And so sometimes it takes a little bit of help to, do these things. Sometimes you can bounce some ideas off of someone else that is non biased in the situation, right? Sometimes you can talk to a therapist, talk to your pastor, talk to someone that you trust, that you know that is going to help you be able to identify something that maybe you can do different. Because again, a lot of times we pick up situations and problems, they're not even ours to pick up. Number three, it's changing your environment. These are some ways, I'm talking about 4 ways to stop stress instead of managing stress, right? We all know managing stress, getting our hair done, getting our nails done, taking a me day, taking a self care day. That's all great and well and fine. I'm not saying do that, continue to do that. But if you can stop the stress, that is what's going to stop the chronic stress. And that's what's going to stop the internal things that are going on inside of you that are killing you slowly. And so here we are at number 3. We are changing your environment. If a toxic job, relationship, situation, and sometimes I call them situationships, is the cause, consider making changes. That stressful job that I was talking to you about, God made a way and found another job. Sometimes we're in jobs and we feel like, I've been at this job for umpteen years. I'm not going to be able to do anything else, or, I don't want to start over. But if that job is killing you slowly, right? Is it worth it? If you're in a relationship and oh my goodness, you've been with this person for how many years, but you know deep inside you're not truly happy. I was in a relationship and I remember saying to myself, I was so miserable. I did not want to go home. If you are sitting outside and sitting in your car and don't want to go in your house, right? Yeah. If you don't have peace anywhere else, you should have peace at home, right? So if you're in a relationship, you don't have peace at home and you've done all the things, right? You've had all the talks that you can have, you've gone to therapy and done all the things that you can do, baby, it's okay. You tried. It didn't work. I promise you. In my head, I used to think, oh, I'm never going to find, oh, he loves me like this, or he does these certain things. I won't ever find anybody. I promise you, the next person that I talked to did the exact same things and without the toxicity, without the negativity, and without the crazy. What Big Mama say they're more fish in the sea? Uh-huh. There are. There are. Right? Situationships, same thing. So changing your environment. I'm gonna say it again because this is important. If a toxic job, relationship, or situation is the cause, consider making changes. The last one is reducing your exposure. Reducing your exposure. And so limiting time with the negative influence, such as social media or stressful news, or just again, people that you might be around in your environment. Sometimes, if you notice that when you get to a point in life where you're ready to change, everyone around you may not be ready to change. But you know that that situation or that environment is not the best for you. And so that may be your family. This is really, really hard. It may be your family. It may be your best friend that you've had since y'all were young. It may be, people at the job that, you used to hanging out with and going out with and doing different things with. Whoever or whatever it is, understanding, reducing your exposure. Doesn't mean you can't go out all the time. Doesn't mean you can't, hang around them. Do you have to cut them completely off? You don't. But understanding the more and more that you expose yourself to that environment, the more stressful you get. Because when the Lord is shifting you, and this is one thing I know for sure, when the Lord is shifting you, sometimes you go through a season of loneliness. Sometimes he sets us apart. He sets us apart on purpose, right? So that he can start depositing in us and pouring into us purpose and giving us the things that we need and showing us why are we even here in the first place, right? We're not here just to go to work, right? We're not here just to take care of these kids. Well, you do have purpose on your life, whether you figure that out or not. And it doesn't matter how old you are. I work with people as old as 70 years old. You still have purpose in your life, right? And so that is uh that is a beautiful thing. If you can start working in choosing you, that is part of it. Reflections choosing me guilt free. It's one of the reasons why I came up with the name, because when you start doing things that look like that are going to deposit joy, peace, love, happiness, right? Faith, understanding in your spirit. Sometimes, setting those boundaries, letting people go, doing those things, it takes faith. It takes understanding. It takes trust in God. Lord, you want me to let who go? But they've been in my life. But they've been doing this. You want me to do what? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That means no matter what it looks like, no matter where I am, no matter what's going on, I'm going to trust God that He's ordering my steps, that He's leading and guiding me. So, again, I call this a divine intervention, honey, because if you're here and you're listening to this, that means you must be carrying that silent killer right along with you. That's chronic stress. That's chronic stress. That means that your emotions must be getting the best of you. I don't believe in coincidences, only God's divine intervention in our lives. And so I pray for you. I pray that you have peace, that you have peace in your spirit, that you have love in your heart, that you are able to walk on this side of heaven and not just exist, right? God didn't put us here just to exist, right? He is what I call generational wealth, what I want for each and every person, why I developed the programs that I developed. I call it getting your Harriet Tubman on. I've gotten myself together and now I'm coming back for you, boo. Yes, I'm coming back for you to get your Harriet Tubman on. I'm getting my Harriet Tubman on this what first Monday in February, Black History Month. I'm getting my Harriet Tubman on. I'm coming back for you because you're worthy. You're worthy of joy. You're worthy of peace. You're worthy, right? Of happiness. Yeah, let that sink in. You're worthy. Are you living each and every day with joy in your spirit? I wasn't living every day with joy in my spirit. I thought I was. I was going to church every Sunday. I was smiling, but I didn't have joy in my spirit. You know why? Because I wasn't being honest with myself. Hmm. It's a song back from the 90s. They call it Ain't No Future in Your Frontin'. I was fronting. Are you out there fronting, carrying these emotions around, carrying this chronic stress around, right? And killing yourself slowly. You don't have to do that. You don't have to live like that, boo. That's all I'm telling you. You don't have to. You definitely have a choice. You could definitely be intentional about your life and just make a decision like I did in 2018. I said, you know what, Lord, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to pretend anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I actually want to be happy again. I want to feel joy in my spirit. I want to smile and actually feel like I'm smiling. Like it's just not this curve on my face, right? I don't want to take these pictures and just be happy for this moment. I want this joy to last in my spirit. I want that for you. I want that for you. And so all you have to do today, right, is make the decision that you want that for you too. It's possible. I'm a living witness. I'm a living witness. And managing your stress will help your heart, high blood pressure, it helps your heart rate, it helps your immune system, it helps sleep, it helps anxiety, it helps depression, it helps burnout, it helps your GI system if you have irritable bowel syndrome, if you have ulcers, if you have acid reflux, it helps sleep disorders, right? If you're having insomnia, poor quality of sleep, it helps you to lose weight, y'all. When you put these things down, when you acknowledge that the emotions are taking over and stress is controlling your life, it promotes the release of fat. It helps you not to overeat. It helps you to make better food choices when you get intentional about your life. And that's my promise. That's my prayer for you. Each and every one of you listening today. Y'all meet me back here next week. It is Black History Month. We're having these very intentional conversations that we need to have with who, boo? With you, with yourself. See you next week. Well, family, this has been another divine intervention. Thank you for tuning in to Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free with your girl, Miss Michelle D.I. Every week, we will have the uncomfortable but necessary conversations as it relates to your mind, your body, your spirit, and emotions. You suffered long enough. It's time to break free. So join me every Monday at 1 p.m. right here on KGLD Radio, where you can fill your spirit with gospel all day long. See you next week.